Please note, this podcast contains references to physical and sexual assault and graphic depictions of violence. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed throughout this podcast are solely those of the individuals expressing them and do not necessarily align with the opinions or beliefs of the host or producers. Hey, it's Troy here. I just wanted to thank you for listening and supporting us and Faith's family on the search for justice. As you know, Faith's case is still active and things are moving and shaking every day. After this episode, we're going to take a really brief break just to catch up on a few things, but don't worry, the wait won't be too long. We'll be back with episode 8 on Monday, May 25th. Until then, if you want to continue supporting the case, please jump on over and follow the Justice for Faith Ely Facebook page. And please continue to share, rate and review the show, as it helps us get Faith's case out to a broader audience. Today's episode is a tough one, and it may be triggering for some listeners, but I think it needs to be heard. Too often, victims of sexual assault are left voiceless, not believed, or in a position where there just isn't enough evidence to support prosecution. The statistics show that nearly 1 in 2 women will experience some form of sexual violence in their lifetime, with more than 450,000 victims every year in the United States alone. That's one victim every 68 seconds. And the vast majority of them will go unreported. And the ones that are reported have a very slim chance of actually making it to court, with only around 1,500 cases heard in federal court in the United States last year. And things aren't much better in Australia, Canada, the United Kingdom, or New Zealand either. The statistics aren't just devastating, they're completely unacceptable. And the first step to finding justice is reaching out and talking to someone about it. So if you or someone you know has or is experiencing sexual assault or violence, help is available, and contact numbers for support organisations in our primary listener countries are available in today's episode notes.
And I will tell you that we went through some shit with Shawnee over that. I mean, the level of corruption is ridiculous. It turns out that the thumb drive that he had recorded Faith's original video and audio statement about what happened got lost. So that detective went out to the jail where the guy was still in custody, got it on recording that he admitted to everything. 2 years later, new DA comes in. I sit down and have a conversation with her. I find out that they lost that too.
Are you fucking kidding me? It's no wonder you're disillusioned with law enforcement. This is ridiculous.
Fucking insane. Fucking insane.
After Rosemary flags the McGurk case with me and what it could mean in relation to Faith's death, I call Amanda to fill her in. But it becomes clear pretty quickly that today, it's me who's going to get an education. And the subject of it leaves me absolutely devastated.
Faith was drugged and raped 2 months before she was killed. After she was killed, I was dealing mainly with the homicide. Kaitlynn was keeping track with the sexual assault. 6 months after Faith died, Kaitlynn got a hold of the detective over her case, and it turns out that the thumb drive that he had recorded Faith's original video and audio statement about what happened got lost.
I find myself, for the first time in a very long time, lost for words. It doesn't seem to matter how hard I push my brain, I can't begin to comprehend the pain and loss. Not only do you lose your daughter and have to champion the charge to find answers, while simultaneously grieving the loss of your son 9 months earlier, but now you've got to process the fact that your daughter was also raped only a few short months before her death. Oh, and the people who were there to make sure justice gets served, at least in the assault case, they accidentally lost the evidence.
Couldn't find it anywhere. Well, I had a meeting with their lieutenant, and their sergeant over the detectives was present in that meeting, which was Sergeant Huey and Lieutenant Reeves, and I let them know my thoughts about that. So that detective went out to the jail where the guy was still in custody, got it on recording that he admitted to everything.
And
2 years later,
yeah,
new DA comes in. I sit down and have a conversation with her. I find out that they lost that too.
What?
Yeah, Shawnee PD had lost the recorded conversation interview with the suspect. She outright admitted that it was absolutely the fault of Shawnee PD and the district attorney's office that those pieces of evidence were not kept locked up and stored appropriately, that they have been lost.
It's early 2023, almost 2 full years after Faith was killed, and Amanda and Kaitlynn are heading in for a meeting at the Potts County District Attorney's Office to discuss Faith's sexual assault case. They find themselves in a position that feels uncomfortably familiar, searching for answers that just don't seem to want to come easily.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to kind of lay things out. I know you're here, obviously, to talk to me about this case, and I'm going to just kind of tell you how it is. I'm not very good at, sugarcoating things.
I would rather direct answers.
So I will tell you, Kim had told me this case had come up, and I'll tell you, it's always a hard time to recharge a case after this long of a period of time, because especially this nature of case, because witnesses, their testimony, it gets worse over time. It doesn't get better, right? Your memory doesn't get better over time. It gets worse. And so whenever Kim initially told me about it, I'll tell you, I kind of had it in the back of my mind, I'm going to read this case. I'm going to have to tell this family that there's no way I can file the charge. Okay. Then I read through it and I thought, this actually may be one that I could actually do. Because there's a lot of evidence rules that I think I could use to tell her story even without her. But then I talked to Kim again about meeting with you, and she told me about some of the things that I didn't know from just reading the case, okay? Such as the main detective on the case, do you know anything about what's going on?
I know Detective Duncan was relieved from Shawnee PD last summer.
So apparently my information is that he no longer works there because of maybe some misconduct that happened that wouldn't taint his credibility. Because sometimes if you have a detective who there's some evidence that they lied or something, I would have to disclose that. That obviously is going to ruin his credibility. It's not good, right? Mm-hmm. It's not that, but it might cause a little bit of issue for us. But the biggest issue is the recording of the interview that he did with the defendant, which is the best piece of evidence, has been lost. I met with Shawnee Police Department with some detectives who work there right now and asked them to go through and look again, and they can't find it.
Right, which we were told that.
You knew that.
But then we were also told that wouldn't even matter in court. It would be admissible in court.
By Lieutenant Reeves.
Right.
It would be admissible not through Reeves. Okay, that it was missing. I'm sorry, I'm with you. Yes. So here's the part where I'm going to kind of tell you, I am sorry, because I'm going to tell you that this case has been failed every step of the way by multiple people. It was failed at the police department stage because they didn't do what they needed to do to archive the evidence and preserve it for later. It was failed by this office because whenever it was dismissed at the preliminary hearing stage, that never should have happened. And the reason that I'm told that you were offered for that was because the witness who was in prison. So here's what I think may be happening. I'm not doubting that what you're told was in that interview, and that's why the recording, and I'll tell you once again, and this is just me being honest with you, blame this office, because this is the interview that we need. And when I got this file, this is the sleeve that's in here, and this disc isn't in this case. So at one point in time, both the police department should have had this at least recorded, produced at least this copy, and should have like kept a copy within their systems, which is what's supposed to happen. And
So this boy, this grown man, is going to get away with raping somebody because of the incompetence of Shawnee PD. Does that basically sum it up?
And because I have an ethical duty to charge cases that I think I can prove beyond a reasonable doubt to 12 people, right? Not just what I know in my gut to be true. So, I mean, also, I don't want you to blame just Shawnee Police Department because I'm the one who's making, like, the buck stops with me, okay? So I don't want you to leave this conversation thinking that, like, they made the decision. I'm making the decision, but it's because we don't have the evidence that we need to pursue the prosecution.
Not because it didn't exist, but because Shawnee Police Department lost it.
So what about the rape kit? The same nurse?
Well, because the rape kit doesn't prove that it was non-consensual. That's what this case is going to turn on, is the non-consensual. That's what his defense is going to be. It's not going to be that he didn't have some type of sexual intercourse. It's going to be that it was consensual, not non-consensual, right?
So was there blood work done on her that evening that came back any kind of drug that she had said that he gave?
So her blood did come back positive for some intoxicants, yes. Problem is that the DNA can extend 72-ish hours before, like, when it's taken. So we can't prove when the drugs were ingested versus when the sexual intercourse happened and kind of her level of intoxication when the rape happened. The only two people who know what happened in that window that's not before and after are the defendant and your daughter, who's not here to tell us. If she were here to tell us, I would be filing this case for sure, not a question. And it would be supported by, even as bad as I think it might be, the detective who I may come in and we would deal with what we had with him. But we don't have anyone to testify for that period of time where we don't have someone.
What about that Brandon dude's mother? He's the one that brought her into it, said he got the medicine, the aspirin from her. What does she say?
She doesn't say it. That's not part of the case. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I have a copy of the original report.
Yeah.
Faith was dropped off. She went in, asked Brandon for some aspirin because she had a headache. He said he went to his mother and got the medicine from the mother and gave it to her. Turns out that was a drug. According to the Shawnee PD, who also told me when they interviewed him at the jail, he stated he got the aspirin from his mother. So what does his mother say?
So that's not in the report that I have. And I'm happy to read it to you. He said the Brandon story is that it was when someone else went to get the Narcan that he did what he did.
And that's the part that is missing and nobody can seem to find.
A few days later, Amanda receives a call from the district attorney's office with, for once, some good news.
District Attorney's Office.
Yes, this is Amanda Langston. I'm returning a call from Kim Witten.
Sure, one moment. This is Kim.
Hi, Kim. This is Amanda Langston. I'm returning your phone call.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, when you met with Lori last week, she told you that she had Shawnee Police Department looking for that recording of the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they found it.
Which one?
So,
The one with Faith that they lost or the one with Brandon that they lost?
I believe it's the one with Brandon that they lost.
Okay, that's the one that she was really wanting anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
So she wanted me to reach out to you and let you know that it's been found. It's in her possession. She needs a couple days to review it, and then once she reviews it and can see what information that it holds,
Now, will that stay in her possession now?
It will stay in her possession, yes.
Fantastic.
And so once she reviews it and then can, see if it's got everything we need, then I'll call you guys and have you come back in, and then we'll sit down and she'll talk to you about whether it has what we need to be able to charge this. Okay? But I just want to let you know, she said that she would let you guys know if it was ever found, and it was found, and she does have it to review it. So you'll be hearing from me soon, probably to have you guys come back in so she can talk to you about what everything entails.
Well, I'm glad that it's in her possession now.
Yes, she has it in her possession.
Yeah, I feel like maybe after talking with her that she's got, she's going to make sure that it stays in evidence. So
Yes.
I'm really glad to have met her.
Well, I'm glad, and I hated the circumstances that you had to be here the other day, but I promise you, she's going to make the best decision to be able to move forward. She's probably, over the last, couple of years, the best one who's been able to look at it. So if we're able to charge it, it's going to be definitely in good hands.
Good. Glad. Well,
Okay,
thank you for letting us know about that.
Amanda continues searching for answers and accountability in a conversation with Captain Goss and Sergeant Huey from Shawnee Police Department.
Hello.
Hi, this is Captain Goss, Shawnee Police Department. Returning a call.
Hello, Captain Goss.
How you doing, ma'am?
I've been better. I really have been. This is the reason for my complaint. My daughter, Faith Ely, was drugged and sexually assaulted in January of 2021. That my same daughter was murdered March 28th, 2021.
Okay.
Shawnee PD had, 6 months after her death, we learned that Shawnee PD had lost, Officer Duncan had lost the only audiovisual recording of an interview he had done with Faith before her death. Then, the Officer Duncan then went out to the jail and interviewed the suspect. With approximately 6 months later, we learned from Detective Duncan that he had lost the only interview he had done with my daughter about the rape case. Then we find out he went out to the jail, he interviewed the suspect, recorded the whole interview. We just recently found out last month from the district attorney's office that piece of evidence also got lost. So therefore, according to the assistant district attorney, Miss McConnell, she has no chance of prosecuting the case. Absolutely took accountability for the district attorney's office having failed, and also stated that Shawnee Police Department had failed my daughter's case every single step of the way. What I don't understand is, how is it two pieces of evidence, crucial evidence, what I was told, gets lost in the same case by the same department?
Yeah. No, I'd be frustrated as well. This last piece of evidence for the second interview, I don't even know what to tell you as far as that the first interview that Detective Duncan said he had told you that he couldn't find. This last piece was, we usually have a way that where a place all of our detectives store all of our interviews so that it's easily accessible. And so we scoured over and over and over again looking for that. And he slid it into a different area that we normally don't put anything. And that's where the problem lied. And so as far as moving forward on it, it's trying to make sure our detectives are saving things in the right places, the same places, so that all of us have access to being able to find those.
Okay.
The first kink gets lost. I agree with you. I'd be very frustrated as well.
I'm extremely frustrated because that's not an interview that can ever be done again.
Right. Yep, I agree.
And my further concern is for other women, young girls, even young boys who experience the same thing, and because of improper procedures, their cases won't get prosecuted either, and then they're walking around with knowing their rapist is free. That's just unacceptable. That's extremely unacceptable. So now this young man has an even greater possibility of being out free of charges, free of trial, and free to do it again.
Well, once we found that video, like I said, I apologize for it being placed where it is. made sure with our detectives we have now, Detective Duncan's not a detective right now, and he won't be a detective with us. And it was I don't, like I said, I can't say what happened with that first interview at all. The second interview was it was simply put in a place where we normally don't do it. But as far as moving forward, because I agree with you, I don't want to see any other person at all be able to be victimized and to not get any answers for it because of a lost interview. So we've addressed that with our detectives to make sure they're getting safe in the same spot, so that even if it was 30 years from now, we'll be able to access that interview. And I'm in agreement with you. It needs to be done in a better job. And most of the time, 99% of the time, the interviews are easily accessible. It's just this one was placed in a different spot that we normally don't put them. And so that's why it was difficult for us to find it. It took as long as it did for us to find it.
Okay.
We're trying proper steps to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because, when we ended up finding out that video was missing, we were devastated for you guys, because that's not how we want it to go. And it does matter to us that the person that did this to Faith gets prosecuted. So, and we're still working on the case now that we're able to find the video. I've been in contact with Lori McConnell, and we're conducting a couple more interviews and resubmitting this to Lori for charges to be filed on it.
Can I ask another question? I have the statement, the written incident report from Detective Duncan that he took with Faith.
Yes,
and she mentioned in that incident report that Mr. Elahi went and she had asked for some aspirin because she had a headache, and that he went and asked his mother. However, Miss McConnell was not aware of any of that. Has anyone followed up on what the mother says about it? Was she there?
Yeah, that's what we have a detective following up. They spoke to Brandon, and they spoke to the mother on separate occurrences last week. And I don't have the report in front of me, so I don't know exactly what statement that Detective Duncan got when he was talking to your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what all was in that right off the top of my head. But I do know that one of the interviews we still need to conduct is with Brandon's mother.
Okay. Has she, Miss McConnell, given you any indication that charges will be refiled?
There's an opportunity for that, absolutely. She wouldn't have given us, when we talked to Miss McConnell, we talked to Lori, there was a task of some stuff that she wanted for us to follow up on, and I don't believe she would have us following up on it if she wasn't looking for the opportunity to refile on this case.
Okay. Well, I wanted to vocalize my concerns and my issues with the conduct the Shawnee Police Department had done in her case. And I sincerely hope that you guys are working to make sure that doesn't happen to anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We are. And like I said, we apologize that this got misplaced the way it did. It's not anything we're trying to do, and it's not something that's normal around here. And so, but there are being steps made to ensure that it's not happening to anybody else anymore, and still trying to work. Like right now, we got an investigator that's working to follow up on all the stuff that the district attorney's office needs for Faith's case.
Okay. Thank you, Sergeant Huey, and thank you, Captain Goss, for returning my phone call and answering my questions and listening to my concerns.
Well, just know that this case with your daughter is a priority to us, and we're still working on it, and we're working on it with a priority, okay?
I'm very glad to hear that you guys haven't forgotten about her, because we certainly haven't.
We're still working for it.
So who is this guy, the perpetrator?
Oh, his name is Brandon. He got convicted and sentenced to 25 years. Well, he's appealing based on tribal. That the state, under McGirt, the state of Oklahoma has no jurisdiction to prosecute him. His problem is he wasn't inside the 5 civilized tribe, so it's not going to go anywhere. He's a Native American member, but the crime did not occur within those 5 civilized tribes' boundary lines.
Right. Gotcha, okay.
But he got 25 years. What made them decide 25 years was because he said, well, she's dead now, what does it matter? That's what got him 25. There's a reason why I don't have any kind of faith. I mean, 2 different cases in 2 different counties, 3 different law enforcement investigators, and they've all fucked up.
It's unbelievable.
And
It's
then
unbelievable.
Brad hits me with the whole, this was never a hit and run. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, we've been through some shit the last 5 years.
Thankfully, in Faith's case, justice prevailed, and the perpetrator, subject to the outcome of his appeal, was convicted and jailed for 25 years. While it's great to finally see the justice system working, what Faith's family had to go through to get there was nothing short of exhausting. And the most heartbreaking part of it all was, by the time they did, Faith wasn't alive to see it happen. But at least it was served. One down, one to go. In the wake of it all, while I'm still trying to process what Amanda has shared with me, and the absolute shitshow of a rollercoaster ride she had to go on to get the evidence, my phone rings. It's Amanda again, but now she's shifted gears. And from everything she has to say, it sounds like we're just about to jump right into the eye of a hurricane.
We had one gentleman call Kaitlynn. He called the news station after the last report, who then called Kaitlynn, and Kaitlynn talked to this gentleman. And I mean, you could tell I don't know if he was intoxicated or if he had like a speech impediment, not judging. But he talked to us specifically about Faith's case, but he did not hold back on names of drug dealers in Wewoka, kingpins in Wewoka, law enforcement officers in Wewoka and Seminole County who cover up for them. I mean, he was just giving us all the tea.
Faith's case is still open, and her killer or killers have not yet been brought to justice. If you know anything about Faith, her death, or those who may be responsible, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit echospace.media/tips and either leave a voicemail or send us a message. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Blunt Force Trauma Podcast. If you're enjoying this podcast, please consider our subscriber option on Apple Podcasts or Patreon at patreon.com/echospacepodcasts, where you get access to early episode drops, ad-free episodes, and bonus content across all of the Echospace shows. If you'd like to keep up to date with progress on Faith's case, please visit and follow the Justice for Faith Ely Facebook page. You'll find a link to it in the episode notes. Blunt Force Trauma is a production of Echospace, written and hosted by Troy Taylor. Executive producers are Troy Taylor, Mark Taruli, and Fred Scherzer. Our main theme song is Lose My Mind by Maya Davidoff, and the show also contains audio content from Moby Gratis.